Hi, I'm Sonia. Welcome back to my channel. This week we're doing another $5 dinner, or $1.25 a serving. My husband's like, no, it's really $1.25. But I'm like, yeah, but you have to have, I'm counting on, just like everybody else, there's about 4 people, but you could be just all for yourself and you're making, 4 portions at one time, because that's how I did the math. I'm going to have all the recipes in the description box, as well as the prices and how I came to it. And I'm going to take you just a little bit shopping, not too much, just so I can give you some ideas of maybe ways that you can save money right now in the grocery store. I know a lot of us are out of work, or reduced hours, or we're just trying to be thrifty and try to save our money, because you just never know. So yeah, I'm bringing you 3 meals this week. Let's get started. One more thing. The most important part about this $5 dinner is I decided to try to make these fairly healthy and try to get in a few fresh vegetables, because I think when we're cutting down our money, the first thing to go is healthy things and not putting in fresh produce, which unfortunately, it is what it is expensive, especially during the time of the pandemic. Some of our prices have gone up, but I have worked hard to try to get this for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I was off at my local Winco. I just wanted to show you a few things. I just want to tell you that if you go into the bulk section, it's probably a cheaper way for you to buy things like rice, grains, beans, pasta. I actually buy my rice in like 25-pound bags and store them in my garage, rice, beans, other things. And I show you the pasta also is actually cheaper if you buy it per the pound. I actually couldn't find fettuccine except for like over $2 a pound. I found it in the bulk section in order to make the Fettucine Alfredo for you guys. I wanted to show you that it is so much cheaper there. Or if you really just only had like $1 or $2, you could always buy that and some sauce. There's so many options out there. And we are going to need some flour. I want to show you, if you only need a tablespoon or 2 and you don't normally use flour, you can buy just a tablespoon or 2. I'll show you the price of onions. I actually just wanted to show you that sometimes it is better just to buy a big bag. Initially you might not think so, but in some cases it is. And then I was just gonna say is look for the cheapest produce to add into your family's meal, whether it be vegetables or fruit. See what's on sale and add that. I found the cheap cucumbers. I was like, yes, we'll add this into one of the meals. But in some cases, like mushrooms, if you only need a few of them, it would be cheaper just to buy them individually. So whatever you do when you go to the store, make sure you have a plan and have it all planned out, and you will definitely stick to your budget. Okay, I was going to actually show you that I was able to get a pretty good deal on chicken breast. I'm going to show you that for $1.78 a pound. I know across the United States you can always get for at least $1.99 a pound. And I am taking this huge thing of chicken breast and I'm going to actually turn it into 3 meals. And that's how we are going to do this. We're going to make barbecue chicken with fries and cucumbers. We're going to make a Fettucine Alfredo. And we're going to make a kebab with rice. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and just open up our chicken breast, and more than anything, regardless if I was going to cook it all the same day or not, I'm going to go ahead and butcher them all together. I actually ended up cooking these all the same afternoon because we have a lot of things going on. We were just taking semester exams this week, and so I knew I wouldn't have the opportunity to make it, but either way I would have it all and have it all butchered up. I'm just trimming it up and cutting off the fat and just getting it ready. Now I am going to go ahead and use my meat tenderizer. I just got this. It's kind of fun actually. And I was going to be using this for our Fettucine Alfredo. I actually made an accident and I think I seasoned the wrong chicken. I'll show you here in a minute. But I went ahead and banged out, and you could use, by the way, this tenderizer for meat, or I don't know. There's so many things you can use it for. It's worth it. If you don't have one, consider it. It kind of does really make a big difference in chicken breast, especially the really thick ones, or I think it does. And so I was going to use this chicken for our Fettucine Alfredo because we want it a little bit more tender. We're going to be using it to be blending with our pasta, and I actually am going to be grilling all of this chicken on my outside grill, so it's going to go faster. That's probably also the reason why I decided to do it all together one day. I normally do cook chicken, by the way, that was for my barbecue chicken. And this one actually is going to be for my kebab. So I'm actually thinking about how many, there's my husband explaining to me, how to cut our chicken breasts, and so equal portions and equal sizes, because I don't want to have some huge pieces of chicken and some small pieces of chicken on my kebabs, because we are actually throwing them on the grill, and so we want all of our chicken to be cooking evenly, and we also want it, since we're turning it into 4, that's why you see me counting them, wanted to make sure that everybody has the same equal amount of chicken on each kebab. So that's what I decided to do. And I went ahead and put just salt and pepper. If I had more money, I would actually probably put like some kind of marinade on a salad dressing or whatever. But I also I put a little bit of garlic powder, because I did have that. I assume that you guys have salt and pepper when I was figuring out all of the costing of this, and the costing is in the description box, as well as a few of the recipes. Some of these are kind of self-explanatory. So yeah, we just put salt, pepper, garlic powder. If you want to put in marinade and you happen to have one, you know what's also good is some of the salad dressing marinades that are powder, and you add just a little bit of water, a drop of oil to it, and that'll be great. So this is just garlic powder, and then I am going to put on my salt and pepper. And these chickens were meant to be my fettuccine, because on the ones that I had from my fettuccine, I mean, the ones that I banged out were supposed to be opposite. Anyways, you get it. And I was supposed to put just the seasoned salt on the barbecue. So if I was doing barbecue, I just do a little bit of Lowry Seasonal. I like it. I don't know if you guys tried it. And then we're going to throw this onto the grill. Okay, I'm going to get started on our rice. I just got a new rice cooker because I dropped mine, and so did my son, and eventually we just broke it. So we got a new one. It's easy. If you guys don't have a rice cooker, get one. It makes life so much easier. It is just 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. I put in just a pinch of salt, and I just drizzle in just a drop of oil, just so it kind of doesn't get stuck to the bottom. It normally doesn't, but once in a while it's a little stuck, so you just put a drop of oil into it. And then you just turn it on and it's ready. It'll even stay warm until you're ready to use it. It's awesome. If you guys don't have one, think about getting one. Okay, and now I was going to get started on grilling up our chicken. You want to preheat your grill, get nice and hot. Don't look too much at mine. I need a new grill, you guys. I leave it outside and always forget to put on the cover, and my grills literally last like 1 year in northwest part of the country because it's always raining and it kind of just disintegrates. Anyways, these are for the kebabs. I wanted to let you know, before you put them together with the vegetables, I kind of pre-cook the chicken so that when we put it with the vegetables, it doesn't get soggy. So that's what we're doing. We just cooked them. Well, you don't need to cook them all the way. So while we're going to cut up our vegetables, we're going to go ahead and put our chicken into the freezer so it can stay in a safe zone and not start growing bacteria. So we're just going to put it into our freezer, and it's going to stay there while we cut up our vegetables. So I'm going to show you. Do you see that? That's my oatmeal from in my last video, and I will link it below. So if you didn't see how to make your own oatmeal, I had to show you guys this. Got this at Amazon. I saw like a new menu board. I usually have it on my counter, but I decided to get this one. It's actually pretty cool. It's magnetic. It goes up there and put all your meals in. So here is our thing where we held it in there while we were getting ready. We actually taped this in a different order, but here we are getting ready for our kebabs. My husband going ahead and doing all the cutting for us. Thank you, John. So he's getting ready. He wanted to let you know you could use any vegetables you want. We just chose an onion, some zucchini and mushrooms because that's what we thought about using. Also, these, if you wanted to throw into a marinade ahead of time, you could. Since we're sticking to our $5, we just used salt and pepper, and it turned out really great. You also want to make sure when you're cutting the vegetables up, because I wanted to add that you cut them into about the same size pieces, because again, you don't want some of them to cook more than the others. We pre-cooked the chickens when we're cooking our vegetables. They don't become overcooked and overdone. Some kebabs, when you get them, the vegetables are kind of gross because they had to cook them so long because they had to cook their chicken. So that's why we pre-cooked our chicken a little. And we are actually trying to make all our kebabs even. So in a second, we're gonna lay out all our vegetables and make a decision of how many we're gonna actually put on each one. But first, we're just gonna add a little bit of oil and some salt and pepper to your taste. And we also added a little bit of garlic, a little granulated garlic, since we already are using that. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our skewers out. We actually have metal ones if you don't have them. I think they sell the wooden ones at Dollar Tree. Just make sure you soak them in oil so you don't catch them on fire. And then go ahead and get your skewers ready. Now, we weren't eating them this night, so what we would do normally would be to prep them and then cook them off the night you were going to actually eat it. But for this, I'm going to actually show you how to cook one. But if I wasn't going to be eating it that night, I could just put them all on the skewers, put them in the refrigerator, and they would be ready for their dinner whatever night that you wanted. Granted, you can only keep them in the refrigerator about 48 to 72 hours. You'd still have to cook it right away. So I just wanted to show you that I'm going to just throw my skewer onto the grill. The thing about it is you don't want them to cook very long or they get gross. You just want to make sure you keep an eye on it. I wanted to show you that the rice was ready. I just got it nice and hot, got my grill marks on and got them just slightly done. And here it is all together. You guys, these are so good. You need to try this. If you're on a budget or not, it is so worth eating. Then I want to show you this. I mentioned in another video, but I want to show you. I use a bookcase to put in all my kitchen appliances. My husband just reorganized it. It's actually even more full than this right now because we got some more appliances, of course. But I organized it more. I just found them. I have all my crock pots because I don't need them obviously on my counter and I only have so much kitchen room. I have one of those things that seals and sucks out the air, a bread maker, a fryer, my rice cooker, Instapot. I mean, I have all kinds of stuff. My KitchenAid mixer. I have like a Korean barbecue like grill for the middle of your table. I have to do a video on that. And my waffle maker, and I have a big griddle. I have all kinds of stuff. But I find that having a big bookcase in the garage is so helpful. And I even have big things, like I said, of rice, beans. We even go through so much popcorn. I have my own thing of popcorn. I know, it's kind of crazy. If you guys ever want to see my food storage, I can show you a later video if you're ever interested of what we just keep on hand, what we buy in bulk. And since it's cold here, we actually store potatoes and onions also outside our garage so we can have more room in our kitchen. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my air fryer and get it ready for my fries. I did end up buying just a bag of frozen fries. If I had pre-thought it, I think I would have bought probably a sweet potato from Trader Joe's, but when I was there, I thought I could get it cheaper and I couldn't. So I just bought a bag of frozen fries. If you haven't tried like just a bag of frozen fries in your air fryer, try them. You're missing out on life. They are so good. And they go really fast and they get crunchy. It's just like the same as eating in a restaurant except without all the oil. So some obviously, but not as much. Okay, now we're gonna get started with our chicken for our barbecue. I only wanted to just show you, you need to get hot. But the key to a kind of a better chicken that's not so tough is to cook it at indirect heat. So have all your other burners on the other side going and the burner right there, turn it off. After they're done is when they're about 3/4 of the way done is when I'm gonna go ahead and put on my barbecue sauce. Then you wanna close your lid and let it sit because you kind of want the sauce to kind of thicken up before you flip it and baste it again. I also probably could have gotten my barbecue sauce cheaper. I usually find it really cheap once in a while and just buy a few of them, or sometimes I even make my own sauce. This day I got what I could find, and I just use the Sweet Baby Ray's, which is fine. I mean, I kind of rotate around what I like. I mean, it's barbecue sauce, it's good. So I just flip it over, do the other side, and then I let it heat some more. It's indirect heat, so it kind of thickens up. So it's not just like sauce on your chicken, it kind of thickens and gets into the chicken, and it tastes so much better that way. Again, excuse my grill. I need a new grill. It's on my list of things to buy, actually, I'm looking into. So there they are. I'm going to go ahead when they are ready, take them off the grill and get them inside so we can eat them. And again, we did make all these in one day and it was so much better. It made our week go it was so much easier at dinner time. You guys should try cooking a few meals at once. I was surprised. And here you, my husband helping out, doing the cucumbers. Until this day, I didn't know that you could take your peeler and go both ways. I am like, what? Are you kidding me? We've been married for 21 years, more than that, and you are just showing me this? I always just peel one way. I was like, I am mind blown, you guys. Mind blown. You see this? You can use it both ways. And I'm guessing you have to have pretty sharp peeler, which we do. We bought those on Amazon. I think it's in my favorites video, by the way. But you just chop it up, and we were going to have some cucumbers on the side. We didn't end up eating them. Like, I just put a little salt and lemon on mine. You could have them with some dressing if you want, but it wasn't part of my $5 dinner. Here's my fries. The only thing I just wanted to tell you about the fries coming out of the air fryer is, remember, you need to put salt on your fries when they are hot. Okay, because after that, the salt doesn't stick. So make sure you put your salt on your fries and give them a good toast. And there you go, you guys. It came out super good that day. Here's our barbecue chicken with our fries and our cucumbers. It's such a simple meal, and I cannot believe that we made it under $5, including the protein, which is the most expensive thing to obviously buy. And now we are going to get started on our fettuccine, in which we're just starting with a big pot of water. And remember, in pasta, you don't know, you need to flavor your water so that the pasta can soak up the salt. So you want to put a liberal amount of salt in your water before it comes to a boil, before you drop in your pasta. So once it's all boiling, dropped in my fettuccine. I can't believe that I found it so cheap in the bulk section. I gotta remember that to check it. I don't all the time. I don't, because I'm in a rush to go up and down the aisles and get out. What I wanted to show you real quick on the chicken for the fettuccine, not like we need to watch me flip chicken, is also on this one, we are not going to cook it all the way because we are going to put it back in with the sauce, but we also wanted to cook it just on indirect heat, just barely cooked, so that it won't be tough when we add it into our noodles. Also with our fettuccine, we are going to be cooking them very al dente, like not even to that point, a little bit harder, so that they're not squishy once we add in our sauce, because that's just gross. Who wants squishy noodles? You want them to still have like a little bite to them. We normally wouldn't wash our pasta, but we want them to stop cooking. Now, when you cut up your chicken, this is a reminder, you want to cut always against the grain. And that is what my husband's doing. We forgot to put a towel underneath, sorry. Cutting board sliding a little bit there. I think we fixed it in a second. And so we just wanted to cut up our chicken, and we are going to be getting it ready to add into our sauce. As you can see, it's just cooked. I didn't want like some dark, grill mark sounds a little bit dark, but because then it's going to mess up the flavor of our Fettucine Alfredo. And then I also wanted to say, while we were at the store, and this costs a little extra, but it's good, if you have the extra money, is to add some vegetables into your Fettucine Alfredo. We bought a few extra zucchinis, and we used our mandolin to just use, my husband said, just make sure you only use the outside, not the inside, or it'll be like a bitter taste. And there he is, finally using the guard, because I got mad at him. I said, don't show him with just your hand. We don't want someone to get hurt. So there it is. It is just like very thin outside pieces that we decided to actually add into one of our bowls to give it a try. You just want the outside. He also said if you want to use the center, it would be great to mix into your sauce. It would actually make it more creamy without adding in any of the fat, which is a good point. But this way it makes it all pretty, and we're adding in more vegetables. We also bought a butternut squash. He cut and peeled it, and these make the most beautiful ribbons, which also you could add into your Fettucine Alfredo. Adding in more vegetables and more bulk, so you don't have to eat as much pasta, makes you feel fuller, you get more vitamins, but again, it costs a few extra dollars. The zucchini wasn't much because we had them left over from our kabobs. So let's get started on the sauce. Okay, I decided to make a double amount of the roux, and I probably should have just made one because I was like, we have a lot of pasta, which would have been 3 tablespoons of butter, but I decided to do 6. I'm telling you, do 3 because we really didn't need as much sauce as I made. I could have just added just a drop of extra milk. So you're going to heat it and get it to melt, and then you are going to add in 1 tablespoon of flour. In this case, I used 2 because I made double. I will have the recipe in the description box. And you're just going to cook it up until it's all blended together. This is what thickens your sauce. Then we are going to add some skim milk to this. And I use lactose-free milk like I always do. And I just put in 1 cup of milk. Now, if you're making half, it would be half a cup. So it's 2 half a cups, so you see me adding it. So I would say do half in that case. And then you also, I decided to put in a little bit of that powdered garlic, California garlic. And then I'm going to stir it all together. And then Here is the part where we're going to add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You could add white pepper, but I like the taste of the black pepper. I know my husband's like, you use white pepper and want, show the black pepper. I like it. You're going to bring it to a boil and let it get all thick. And then you're going to add in a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I did a 1/2 cup because I doubled it. You could do either one, whatever you want. Thicken it up. You guys, I have been making this recipe since I was in college, and you can see it's a really loved cookbook. It's actually from a diabetic cookbook that someone gave me in college, and this recipe I've been making since then of this fettuccine that's lower fat, and it is really good. I'm telling you, everybody in my house loved it. I think maybe in some of these videos I'm going to have my family eating it, because if I tell you it's good, it's different than if I have my kids trying it and actually giving you their opinion of all our meals. I think that might be fun to add into the video, but I will add in make sure I put the recipe in below. And this is actually a diabetic friendly thing. And now I'm sure that they wouldn't tell you not to eat it on so much pasta, but you could put it in more vegetables. Anyways, this was a really fun video to do. Here is what it looks like when it was all plated up. If you guys love this video, make sure that you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and tell me down in the comments, and we'll make sure we start doing some more $5 dinners. I know a lot of people right now don't have a ton of money, but we shouldn't sacrifice flavor and having our fruits and vegetables and nutrition just because we can. We just got to use our brains, and I'd be happy to do it. I love cooking and I love making healthy things. Okay, see you next week.